ضيوفنا الكرام، تفضلوا بالجلوس في مقاعدكم، سيبدأ البرنامج قريباً.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program is about to begin.
ضيوفنا الكرام، نستمع الآن إلى النشيد الوطني.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem.
ضيوفنا الكرام، تفضلوا بالجلوس في مقاعدكم، سيبدأ البرنامج قريباً.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our program will now begin.
We are leaders, creators, innovators, and thinkers. We have always learned from others. We absorbed the experience of peers, parents, masters, and mentors. The essence of progress is our collective memory, the source of incremental innovation. Knowledge has always been culturally transmitted. With fire domestication came safety, warmth, and a new diet. The invention of the wheel changed the fate of empires, warfare, and travel. We dreamt and imagined. Art, poetry, and literature were born. We questioned. Sciences gave us the answers. Philosophy, mathematics, physics, and astrology propelled us and changed the way we think. We conquered deserts. We conquered seas and discovered new horizons. Mid-18th century, first industrial revolution, comes the age of machines. Steam replaced human and animal power. 150 years later, mass production was harnessed by oil and electric power. Electricity, cars, combustion, chemistry, urbanization. It all made us go faster. What was left to explore? Thirsty for adventure, man traveled to space and reached the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From indefinitely big, we went to the indefinitely small. It took less than 2 generations for the digital revolution to happen. That was human intelligence for the past 400,000 years. In a world of 9 billion people in 2050, in a world that will be 70% urbanized, in a world where 50% of the population is below the age of 30, in a world where machines will know more than we ever can.
If you're interested in giving me an investment check, please meet me after this session. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of the event.
We are ultra connected. How will we be learning, working, contributing? How will we be living together? Let's explore, experiment, and experience at the Misk Global Forum. Together, let's meet the challenge of change.
ضيوفنا الكرام، رحبوا بفهد حميد الدين، مستشار في مؤسسة مسك الخيرية.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Senior Advisor, MiSK Foundation, Fahd Hamidaddin.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests and friends, welcome to the second annual gathering of the Misk Global Forum. We're here to address the question of our time: how to meet the challenge of change. What we know is that we are all on a journey, on a road that we must travel. Whether we see the future destination or not, it's inevitable. We have no many options, actually. If we don't move, we will go backward. And if we don't go fast enough, we'll be left behind. But what really matters is how we see this challenge and road ahead of us. Is it as a challenge or an opportunity? The answer to that question is what is key to how we will well manage or not. So what change are we talking about? It's obviously multidimensional. We all hear about the different technological advancements and other changes around us. So it's complex and maybe hard to define. But it's definitely clear that what was going well for us in the past, for business, governments, and people, is not necessarily going to be sufficient going forward. But what was important is to look at how the youth look at this road ahead. So what we did is we commissioned a global survey to look at the future through the eyes of the youth and see, and I'm going to share with you some few areas of what we found. So take one, technological advancement. Yes, the Industrial Revolution on its rush to automation is actually creating a threat for jobs. Some see new opportunities coming out, but what matters is what the youth see. What we found is that collectively, they see a surge of new creative industries on the rise. They see new ways of working and much more. When we looked at dramatic climate change, so yes, the energy that has fired the Industrial Revolution and is still doing so to date is actually creating the seeds or planting the seeds of a growing challenge ahead of us. We're lucky to see that youth, more than any other generation before, are more committed about the environment and conscious. They are looking at the race to the electric cars, green homes, and new renewable energy sources. The third area was communication. Communication with all its technology disruption and how that creates new interactions and social influence. So some may look at the similarities. Unfortunately, some look at social divide, prejudice, extremism, shame, and mental health. The good thing, though, is that youth look at social entrepreneurship destined to mountainous opportunities ahead with crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, and they see social entrepreneurship is a great job creator for them and things they're passionate to engage into. Social inclusion is a great example. And we have from Saudi Arabia, Rayouf Al-Humaidi at the age of 15 was able to design an emoji with a hijab. The hijab emoji does not just represent her, but also represent her friends and millions of other women around the world. And that is social inclusion they're talking about. That is the optimism in their hearts. So many of you may ask, why is this global dialogue coming from Saudi Arabia? Whether here in this room or across the borders, across our nations, or watching us on screen, we might be known by being the capital of oil. But what we like to say is that we are the capital of a new, immense source of energy. It is our young people. With over half our population below the age of 30, you can imagine what opportunities could be created through them. So empowering them is the way for Saudi Arabia. And we in Saudi Arabia are embarking in a phenomenal change for our country, Vision 2030. And who is best to exemplify empowerment of youth than the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, who developed and empowered his son, our Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, to take charge of the new reform agenda that we all need. So MiSK is not any different, and our agenda and as a nation is reflected on MiSK vision. So with our mission being solely focused on discovering, empowering, and helping youth to be active participants in the future knowledge economy, this foundation was established in 2011 by the Crown Prince, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz. And we know that such endeavor is a global concern. So we take this agenda through this ongoing platform, the Misk Global Forum, to the world. And we call on partners and experts to collaborate. And we are honored tonight to see partnership coming across through a great philanthropist and one of the most foremost innovators and altruistic entrepreneurs that mankind has ever known. Mr. Bill Gates will shed some light on an initiative that MiSK Foundation and the Bill and Melinda Gates will be launching. So what are we saying? So if the MiSK Global Forum has one call for action, it would be, let's hand the steering wheel to the youth. And I don't mean men alone. Let them choose their vehicle. What we know is that they are destined on a road to knowledge economy. What goes beyond that is for them to decide. We need to help them. We also know that if they have the passion, excitement, grit, and commitment, there is a lot we can achieve. But to all of us here and all of us watching, I can say if we, together, focus on innovation, collaboration, and more importantly, global responsibility, we may not know where we go or how far we do, but we are definitely destined for a brighter road ahead. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.